If you are thinking about buying a Nigerian used car, here are things you need to check before making payments. Now follow me. Now right here is Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I did alright, brother.
Alright, Mr. Williams, come down so that the camera can pick you well.
You, my guy.
Yeah. How are bro?
For the boss.
So, Mr. Williams, why did you call me here? Maybe we know why you called me.
Man, guy, you see, see, I don't buy my first car. I buy, I don't get issue well. That my car give me issue well. So this one now, why I call you see me come check this car for me? You see, I want make you check, assess the car very well, make you know what thing they happen to the car.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. That's all.
I don't want you to make my package, my past experience, come back again like this.
Alright.
You understand? Just check the car for me.
Alright, no problem. So basically, all he's saying is that he wants me to check the car and tell him things that he needs to consider before making payments for this car. Now let's go into the video proper. The first rule of buying a car is don't buy any car at night. Now, the reason you do this is so that you identify if the car is coming with the first body. Now, so many carpenters and so many car sellers will contract carpenters to cover rust and accidented cars with paint. So at night, you will not actually see it. Now, looking at this car now, you will find out that this is still the first body because I can actually see the scratches and everything. So that is the first thing you do. You make sure you don't buy the car at night and make sure that there is enough light so that you can inspect the exterior of this car. Now, the next thing you check is the tire. Now, your tire has a way of telling you the condition of your alignment system. Now, if your tire is wearing from the inside, the outside, or you are seeing uneven wears on the tire is basically telling you that there is a problem with the entire suspension system. So these are things you need to check before you go ahead and make payments. Now, you now move into the engine to check the state of this engine. Now, how do you do that? You check the engine oil first. Now, the engine oil is supposed to be or give you like, not a black color basically, it's supposed to give you like a green, a red, depending on the color of the oil. Like this one now is getting a little bit bad, but it's still good. Yeah? Then after that, you now smell it. Now if it's having a burning smell, you know that this engine, the engine has actually had overheating problems in the past and everything. So after checking the engine oil, you now move straight and check the gear oil. Now same rule applies here. Same rule applies here. Now looking at this gear oil, as you can see now, it's still a little bit brownish. So that means this gear oil is still very much alive. So these are things, but some people are very wise. What they will do is that they will go and buy gear oil and they will buy engine oil and they will put it, and you think that the oil is still very, very good and the engine is in still very good condition. But we still have other ways of checking if these things are actually the way they say they are. Now, as I'm struggling to put in this dipstick like this, you will not say, this car is already giving me problem. You never even buy the car, the thing don't they give us problem. So I leave it like this now, because problem not the finish. You get it? So now you now move over to the engine proper. You now check the aluminum parts and the metal parts of this car to make sure that there are no rustings, because if rustings there here, that's a very big problem. Now you look around, make sure there's no rust in the aluminum parts. Then you now move over to the belt. Now this is where the drive belt is located. Check these things, drag them. These are supposed to be actually very solid. If you notice that there are cracks on the belts, like this, if there are cracks on the belt, then you need to start making calls to know how much these things are, or to know if there are other problems that are actually leading up to the cracking of these belts. Very, very important. Now, another component that you need to check under the hood is the brake fluid. Now, follow me. Now, the brake fluid has a way of telling you the condition of your brake pads. Now, if you check the level, come close and show them. Now, if you check the level of your brake fluid here, if it falls actually very low to somewhere here, what it's telling you is that your brake pads have become very, very slim. That means it has no traction anymore. Now, this is what will indicate it. Now, if you want to buy a car and this thing is actually low, it's telling you that probably it's either leak or indicating that the brake pads are very, very bad. So you now also start advising yourself, do I really want to buy this car that the brake pads are bad? If it's something that you can afford to fix, then you go ahead and do that. Now, if you cannot afford a mechanic to do this particular stage, you have to do it yourself. It's a DIY. You have to go under this car because normally car they rust to go. So you go under this car and check for rusting. Now, looking at this car, you see that there are so many rusted areas in this car. Apart from the chassis, checking the chassis, you have to check your camber, especially the camber area, because this is the part that water is actually having more contact with in your car. Now, looking at this car now, you see that there are so many eroded parts You understand? Guy, rust don't finish all this side now. All this side now don't chop finish. Look at this is rust. And one thing about rust is that rust spreads. It's like infection, it's like disease. It's in the spread. So if you look at the rust and it's too much, I beg, leave the car. Because you're going to spend a whole lot of money in making sure that you feel, and this is a very, very expensive part. The exhaust pipe rusted, the catalyst from here rusted, rust everywhere. So I would not advise him to buy this car. So check for rust. Oh! One of the easiest way your car suspension can tell you that something is wrong is through sound, through noise. So you have to listen. Now, for example, if the cup or the ball joint of the car is actually having issues, you start hearing noises, all those kind of things. Now, when you're hearing this kind of noise, will you drive that car? Come. Move a little bit more, Now, you see how silent this car is? That means the suspension is still very intact. And I don't need to bother about the suspension or anything. Now, when your camber is not properly aligned, when your cups, your ball joints, they're not properly aligned, or they have started having cracks or some other issues, you'll find out that the car will start making some noises. So you have to drive your car first, like Mr. Willie here is driving. So you have to drive it to ensure that everything is okay and you're not hearing noises from the suspension system. Now, once you are done checking the exterior of the car, we go over to where the magic is, and that is in the interior. Now, one of the things that is very, very difficult to discern is electrical problem, which is one of the reasons you have to check for some things inside the car. Now, some people don't buy car finish. They now find out that the windows don't wind up. Maybe the front windows, hold on, let me on the ignition. The front window is winding up and the back is not winding up. So you have to check if all these windows. So I've checked for the windows and everything is actually working perfectly. Come closer, let me show you. Then, you have to check your gear shift. Now, if you find out that, let me come over to this side. Hold on, sorry. Guy hit too much. Now, if you have to let me put this car on. You have to move this thing like this to make sure that it is not erratic. You check the reverse. You see I'm moving back. Very okay. Enter the drive. Very okay. Check the other gears like this. All of them. Make sure that everything is working, that everything is good with the gear. Now you check the park. Everything is good. Now, why you need to do this is because once you take this car and leave that place, that person who said that car give you no go gree say something was wrong with this. You ask you, why did you not check these things? So it's very, very important. You check your gear shift and make sure that everything is in order. Now, another thing you can check is the cruise control. Now, the reason you need to check the cruise control is because, for example, people when they drive on long distance. Now, for this car, this is where the cruise control is. Just hit it like this, and that's cruise control. Now, what cruise control is actually a feature built-in in cars that allows the car to accelerate on its own without you having to match the accelerator. That's what the cruise control does. So you make sure that some of the elements and aesthetics of this car are actually very, very functional. Now, you can also check the AC. Now, down on the AC of this car, all it's blowing is dust. As you can see, I'm sweating. So this car no get AC. The AC is actually very, very, it's blowing. The fan is working. I don't know why it's not cooling. So there's something wrong with the AC of this car. Then put it off. You can also check the lights. Check your trafficator lights. Very, very important. Check your trafficator lights. Check other lights to make sure that it's working. Now, very important. I know that Nigerians, we don't like seat belts. But then you need to check if your seat belt is actually, if the clip is holding, all these kind of things. Now, this is a small information and small things that people that want to buy Nigerian used cars overlook. You check all these things for very different reasons. Now, you check the lighting of the car to know if these things, to check if they're working. As you can see now, these lights are not working. Nothing they work here like this now. So these are simple things that you need to check to know if the car you want to buy is actually up to standard, if it's what you want. So you know, go carry car, spend money, finish. You can't say the car they depress you. I got 99 problems. Money ain't one of them. Money ain't one of them. Look at the car, don't move. Let's go. Now, the best way to check that the car you want to purchase is actually in very good condition is by using a diagnostic tool. Now, come close. There's a provision made at the driver's side here where you can plug, this particular one I'm using now is actually a wireless tool. You can plug it in, and once you plug it in here, you can actually detect everything that is wrong with this car. And then that can actually help you make up your mind if you want to go ahead with the purchase of this car.